Year 2024 has been a significant one in the history of Nigerian sports. On Sports Track today, we are going to do a retrospect of how Nigerian sportsmen and women performed at continental and at the global stage. On our guest corner today, we are going to do a retrospect of athletics in Nigeria and also the prospects in 2025. Joining me is Michaelson Adewale, a Nigerian athlete.
We want to thank God firstly for the grace and the privilege to see you here, and also track was interesting. Talking about the aspect of Nigeria, we have a couple of home-based athletes that were able to, showcase a tough fight for the foreign base. I mean, those in outside Nigeria, and it was pretty good. Our outing in the Olympic was not the best, but I mean, I believe that it's a process, and we're still building, and we can still get better. Firstly, I will commend in Nigeria, that's the National Sports Commission, for being thoughtful and also for the initiatives. For me, when I saw it and I read so much about it to understand in depth what it actually stands for and what good it to serve us, when things or policies like this are made, for me as a sports developer and a strategist, I always think about the effect it will have on the grassroots. And then I discovered that the adopted athletes that was supposed to be, or that is given out by the National Sports Commission, basically target the elite. And also, yes, coming to track, we have one of our own, actionable already, that's already in the program, and then it's a nice idea. But for me, and from my own view as a grassroots sports developer, I feel like we already have a gap between the grassroots and the elite, a wide gap already. Adopt an athlete. If you have to think about it, what role does it play for the grassroots development? I feel like what we need now, that such programs already on ground, is if the National Sport Commission can have other interesting programs that will help to develop the grassroots better, because every athlete has a lifespan, and then when this program that you have for the elite is running, the grassroots also supposed to have a program, whereas in a period of time, or the last time we met when we were talking, I said many countries or nations have programs or initiatives where they can target 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, some 10 years, even 20 years that they are having. So as between that period we are training or they are preparing, you know that you have a specific amount of athletes or sportsmen that could fill in the vacuum if others had to, So, and also bring competition, proper competition. So if you are to look at it, it's good, but for me as a grassroots developer, I feel like we need to get something also for the grassroots.
If I may comment, remember that we have the National Youth Games and the National Sports Festival.
Okay.
Don't you think that these competitions as here, our own Olympics, are such avenue you can use to harness these youths or these talents from the grassroots?
How many times does it happen? How many times does it happen? National Sports Festival, I think, is 2 years, every 2 years, and then National Youth Games also every year. But the question is this: how many athletes from the National Youth Games do you know? How many athletes from the National Sports Festival have been picked, put in a program for development for a period of time? This, I think, is not just organizing competition. Actually, you see, for example, now we have to have a national.
Of Ophilie.
Yeah,
The products of
national.
sports festival.
Yes, of course, yes. But think about it. The reason why Ophilie is running what she's running now is because she got a scholarship outside. But the truth is, in prospect discovery, when a prospect is being discovered, there's a long chart on how to maintain and sustain the prospect. After discovering, you need to have the development, and the development chart has to do with the kind of program the person is going to be, the kind of coaching, the kind of system, and this chart has a specific time. Then after that, you have your mentoring, you have your monitoring. You know, it goes back to the functions of the coach, the parents, the states, the government. You see, it's not just of having a program. Okay, we have a boy that's running this. What do you do for the boy? The other athletes that are outside the country, they have better environments. Is it the gym? Is it the facility? Now doesn't necessarily mean the stadium itself. Also, you talk about the kind of the gears, like the wares they have, or the provisions made for them to recover, or other basic programs that could help them. You know, these are the things that we don't have. I can tell you, I am so close to many young athletes, and many of them tell me about how, they tell me their experience. Imagine a boy can come to the stadium very early, and then he will come and train, and you know how our training is very rigorous. And when he finishes, he doesn't have time to recover. He goes to the market to go and do one or two things to just get transport to come back tomorrow. And then he does not, before he finishes like 4, 5, 6 in the evening, then he will not go home. Then he will start thinking of what to eat or how to feed. These are factors that's making this gap to be big. Why? Because you see, recovery, training is important, but recovery is most important. Why? Because if you do not recover, you cannot perform. So these are factors. Okay, that's why I say there are so many things that we could talk about that have to do with this. So these are things that as I was saying, adopting an athlete, when you discover 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, home base, okay, fine, let's work on this one. And then you discover another 7, 8, 9, you can put them. These are times where you can engage coaches, engage states. Okay, in a state you discover 5 athletes, have a collaboration with the state. These are your athletes, please work on them. Like now that we're doing National Sports Festival, if such program is being, implemented before now, you see that it's not going to be like a test of improvement.
Do join us next week for another edition of Sports Track. From me, Michaelson Adewale. Bye for now.